Long before cats curled up on windowsills or claimed ownership of human couches, their ancestors ruled a far harsher world. The story of cats in human homes is not one of conquest or forced domestication, but of quiet evolution, mutual advantage, and an unspoken agreement that shaped both species. Unlike dogs, who followed humans through loyalty and cooperation, cats walked their own path, observing, adapting, and choosing when proximity to humans served their survival. This evolutionary journey reveals why cats remain both intimate companions and untamed spirits, balancing between wild instinct and domestic comfort. The evolutionary roots of cats stretch back over 30 million years to small, agile predators that hunted alone in dense forests. These early felines were shaped by natural selection to rely on stealth rather than strength, precision rather than endurance. Their bodies became masterpieces of efficiency, retractable claws to stay sharp, flexible spines for explosive movement, and eyes tuned for low-light hunting. These traits were not built for pack life or cooperation. Cats evolved as solitary hunters, creatures designed to survive independently in unpredictable environments. This independence would later define how they interacted with humans, not as servants, but as selective partners. As Earth's climate shifted and forests gave way to open grasslands, feline evolution responded. Around 10 to 11 million years ago, the lineage that would eventually produce modern small cats emerged. These cats adapted to stalking prey in open terrain, refining their ability to remain unseen and unheard. Their survival depended on patience, silence, and precise timing. Unlike larger predators that could overpower prey, small cats succeeded through efficiency. Every movement mattered, energy was conserved, risk was minimized. These evolutionary pressures forged animals that did not need social structures to thrive, reinforcing a mindset of self-reliance. The direct ancestor of today's domestic cat, Felis sylvestris libica, the African wildcat, emerged in the arid landscapes of the Middle East and North Africa. This cat was neither aggressive nor submissive, but cautious and adaptable. It lived near sparse vegetation, human settlements, and fluctuating food sources. Importantly, it was tolerant of environmental change. When humans began forming permanent agricultural communities around 10,000 years ago, they unintentionally created a new ecosystem. Stored grain attracted rodents, and rodents attracted predators. For African wildcats, this was not a threat, it was an opportunity. Cats did not enter human settlements because they were invited. They arrived because the environment favored them. Granaries provided a stable hunting ground, reducing the need to roam vast territories. Humans, in turn, benefited from reduced rodent populations that threatened food supplies and spread disease. This was not domestication in the traditional sense. There were no breeding programs, no training, no deliberate taming. Instead, a natural selection process unfolded. Wildcats that were less fearful of humans gained access to better resources. Those that tolerated human presence survived and reproduced more successfully. Over generations, these traits became more common. This process, known as self-domestication, set cats apart from other domestic animals. Humans did not reshape cats to suit specific tasks. Cats reshaped themselves to fit into human-altered landscapes. Their bodies changed subtly. Smaller skulls, more varied coat patterns, and slightly altered temperaments, yet their core instincts remained intact. The domestic cat retained its hunting drive, territorial awareness, and independence. This explains why even the most pampered house cat still stalks shadows and reacts to sudden movement with primal intensity. Ancient civilizations recognized this unique relationship. In Egypt, cats became symbols of protection and fertility, revered for their ability to control pests and safeguard food. Killing a cat was a crime punishable by death, not because cats were owned, but because they were respected. Egyptian art depicts cats sitting beneath chairs or beside humans, not restrained, not commanded, but present by choice. This cultural reverence reinforced their survival and spread. As trade routes expanded, cats traveled aboard ships, guarding cargo from rodents and quietly colonizing new lands. Despite their global spread, cats remained genetically close to their wild ancestors for thousands of years. Unlike dogs, whose domestication involved dramatic physical and behavioral changes, cats evolved slowly. They did not lose their predatory efficiency or sensory sharpness. Their brains remained tuned to independence rather than obedience. This evolutionary consistency explains modern feline behavior: the selective affection, the resistance to commands, the sudden bursts of energy followed by long periods of rest. These are not quirks, they are ancient survival strategies playing out in living rooms. The modern home, from an evolutionary perspective, is a territory without danger but full of stimuli. For cats, this environment triggers instincts developed for survival. A moving curtain becomes prey. A closed door becomes a territorial threat. High shelves mimic vantage points used to observe surroundings safely. Scratching furniture is not misbehavior, but a deeply ingrained need to mark territory and maintain claws. When cats appear aloof, they are not rejecting humans. They are operating under instincts shaped by millions of years of solitary survival. Yet evolution also favored social flexibility. While cats are solitary hunters, they are not antisocial. In environments where resources are abundant, cats form loose social groups. This trait allowed them to coexist in human settlements. Over time, cats that could interpret human behavior, tone of voice, body language, routines, gained advantages. They learned when food appeared, when danger was absent, and which humans posed no threat. This cognitive adaptability strengthened the bond between species, even without overt dependence. The emotional connection between humans and cats evolved quietly. Cats did not evolve to please humans, but humans evolved to respond to cats. The large eyes, rounded faces, and high-pitched vocalizations that cats use with humans trigger caregiving instincts. Meowing, for example, is rarely used between adult cats. It evolved primarily as a communication tool with humans. This is a remarkable example of coevolution, where one species adapts behavior not for survival in nature, but for survival alongside another species. In modern times, cats have transitioned from functional partners to emotional companions. Urban living, smaller families, and changing social structures have increased human reliance on animal companionship. Cats, with their independence and low maintenance, fit seamlessly into this role. Evolutionarily, this is a continuation of the same pattern: cats thriving in human-altered environments without surrendering their autonomy. They do not need constant supervision or approval. They coexist, observing, adapting, and choosing interaction on their own terms. Despite thousands of years in human homes, domestic cats remain only partially domesticated. Genetically, they are nearly identical to African wildcats. This explains why feral cats can survive without human care, reverting easily to wild behavior. It also explains why domestication has not dulled their instincts. The hidden crouch, the focused stare, the sudden pounce, these are echoes of ancient predators refined by evolution long before humans existed. The story of cats in human homes is ultimately a story of balance. Humans offered stability without domination. Cats offered pest control without submission. Over time, this mutual tolerance evolved into companionship, not through force, but through choice. Cats did not become human dependents, they became human neighbors. Even today, a cat's loyalty is not guaranteed. It is earned, moment by moment, through respect and understanding. When a cat chooses to sleep beside a human, it is not obedience, it is trust. That trust is the product of thousands of years of coexistence shaped by evolutionary advantage rather than control. Cats remain what they have always been: independent hunters capable of survival without us, yet willing to share our space when it suits them. This duality is what makes them fascinating. They are both wild and familiar, ancient and modern, untamed and affectionate. In the end, cats did not evolve to live in human homes. Human homes evolved into environments cats could thrive in. And in that quiet adaptation, a bond formed. One that continues not because it must, but because both species choose it. This is the evolutionary story behind cats in human homes, not a tale of domestication, but of coexistence shaped by instinct, opportunity, and mutual benefit, unfolding silently across millennia and still alive in every purring companion today.